Hello again. So, I'm kind of a procrastinator, I have to admit. And I have all these plans I want to do with the channel, but I never quite get around to doing them. And, you know, one of my favorite lines is, if you want to make God laugh, tell him all about your plans. Because this was my plan. Cool. I just pre-ordered Halo Infinite. And I'm like 4 months out. So I have a great idea. I'm going to review all the Halo games and get it ready in time so that when Halo Infinite comes out and I get it like a day or two after its release, I can just review that relatively close to when it released. It's a great idea. That was then. This is now. I've only reviewed a handful of games. How many do I have left? 5 separate reviews? Shit. I mean, some of you who have been following the channel will know that I tried doing the same thing with Resident Evil Village. I have Village, but I kind of got preoccupied with a couple other things in the middle of Resident Evil 6, and I still have the rest of 6. All of 7, including all of its DLC, and then I also have Village, and so that's a whole hogposh of whatchamacallits that I have to deal with. But, you know, Halo, I've played all the Halos, so I kind of switched to that, since when Halo Infinite comes out, I could actually enjoy Halo Infinite without, like, damn it, haven't played those last 3 games in between the last one I played and the new one I just got. So I know it's an odd intro, but, you know, I'm now moving on to Halo 3 ODST, because chronologically this does take place in between Halo 2 and 3, even though this came out after Halo 3 and has the Halo 3 subtitle. But if I have been going chronologically, and this is the part that does come out chronologically. And I should get into it now. Okay, so Halo 3 ODST is kind of a weird game. I don't want to say it's a bad game. I wouldn't even say it's not a good game. It's just comparing this with the other Halo games, it's kind of weird. Because a lot of people have said that this is just a glorified expansion to Halo 3. And, well, I think that's kind of unfair. It's equally unfair for me to say that it's not, because being objective, yes, this is just a glorified expansion to Halo 3. I've played both the original Halo 3 ODST and the new HD remaster that is with the Master Chief Collection. Now, the one thing to note about the HD remastered version that you get in the Master Chief Collection is that it is paid DLC. It doesn't come pre-packed with the Master Chief Collection unless you have Game Pass or you buy it in a bundle. I don't know if you can get in a bundle. I just got the physical copy of Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and then I just bought the 2 DLC packs of Reach and ODST. Now, the good news about this is that it's not usually $10. If you get it, it is only around $4. That's not counting, you know, sales and whatnot. I've seen this and the Reach expansion on sale. That being said, if you have to play one of the 2 versions, I would say, yeah, the HD remaster version is the better version to get, because they do fix a lot of the graphical improvements from the 360 version, although you can play the 360 version on an Xbox One. If you have the Master Chief Collection, it just kind of makes more sense to get this version, the HD remastered version. There's no, they don't redo the graphics or anything, but, you know, anti-aliasing has been fixed up. The resolution's better, your frame rate will run a little bit better, and so, that kind of stuff is always better, in the long run. But that being said, going into the game itself, regardless of the version you get, I didn't really care about the story. It's usually Halo video games have these grand operatic stories where you're basically trying to save the universe in every single one. And in this one, it's like, hey, we need to go find this item. Okay. Thrilling. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some very exciting, thrilling moments in this campaign. It's a very entertaining game to play through. But the story just doesn't really do anything for me. And one of the things that didn't really make sense to me in the story is you kind of get this jumping back and forth through like a timeline. Essentially, you're a member of the Odst, which is an acronym for Orbital Drop Shock Troopers, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but I'm pretty sure that's what the acronym stands for. And essentially what ODST is imagine a Navy SEAL is launched from space in a container that drops down anywhere on the planet, and you can get special forces on the ground in 2 minutes anywhere on the planet, which is kind of a cool concept. I wonder why our military hasn't looked into doing that. Money! Okay, I thought there was a reason why. That explains it. But it is a very cool idea nonetheless. And this story, basically, you start off, your group drops in from orbit, aliens are invading, you haven't been paying attention to the Halo series. By this point, you might as well not start here, because this is a terrible starting point. If you're going into Halo for the first time, you should definitely start off with, like, Reach or one of the other games. Not this. This is really just for returning fans. But you drop in, aliens are attacking, something happens, you get knocked out, and you, as the rookie, wake up 6 hours later, it's dark out, night has fallen, and you're trying to find the rest of your squad. As you're moving through the city, you start finding clues as to what happened to the other members of your squad previously, like 6 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 4 hours ago, stuff like that. And it's kind of a cool concept in theory, but one of the weird things is, like, the rookie will do the weirdest ass shit. He's speechless, by the way. He's a silent protagonist. And so he'll literally just... Case in point, without spoiling anything, he will pick up this pen. I'm going to do a hypothetical here to give you an idea of how the game plays. So the rookie will pick up this pen and he'll look at it, and then he'll just see the entire mission play out as to how this pen was incorporated in that sequence with his fellow squad member 6 hours prior. Which makes no fucking sense. Like, he'll just look at it and go, I believe that Pamela Anderson used this pen to frame Tommy Lee, who also used this pen to kill one of the members of Motley Crue, but hide it and cover it up so that no one ever knew that one of the members of Motley Crue got assassinated by Tommy Lee. And then he sold this pen to Arnold Schwarzenegger, who then proceeded to try and attempt to kill Sylvester Stallone with it, but he counteracted by using it to try and kill Ivan Drago, who's not even a real character, but he thought he was real because he was drunk. And he then gave the pen back to Leslie Nielsen, who for some reason he's good friends with Leslie Nielsen. And that is how the assassination of JFK took place. How did you come to that conclusion? Seriously, the rookie will pick up an item and just see all the events that happen with said item, and he'll just, like, toss the item afterwards, like, well, I need to go that way. How the fuck do you know that, huh? Apparently, the rookie is clairvoyant. I guess they never explain it. I mean, I didn't think they were incorporating superpowers into this video game, but apparently, yeah, they are. They're incorporating superpowers into the video game, because apparently, the rookie is clairvoyant. Another weird thing is the musical score. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually really like the musical score to this game. It's quite stunning. It's very lovely at times. It has a very incredible composition to it. But here's the thing. It sounds nothing like the Halo musical scores that we've seen in other video games. Basically, the only way I can explain it is this musical score sounds like it belongs in a 1940s detective mystery. Case in point, kind of like the movie Chinatown or The Maltese Falcon. You know, stuff like that. That's how it feels. Okay? This music feels like it would belong in Roger Rabbit. Sooner, they would belong in Halo. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a gorgeous, stunning score to listen to. It just has no place in Halo universe whatsoever. Another issue I have with this game is basically how this game shows how weak super soldiers are in other games. I know that sounds weird, but basically one of my biggest criticisms with every single Halo game is outside of cutscenes, Master Chief never feels like a super soldier ever. He just feels like a human who can float jump a little bit higher than other humans, and he can turn vehicles back over. Okay, that's like the only incredible thing Master Chief can do, except for the last game I reviewed, Halo 2 Anniversary, where one of the skulls actually could let you hit a character and they go flying, which made you feel like a super soldier. I loved that. Unfortunately, that skull's not in this one that I could find. But what is in this one are human characters that feel exactly the same to super soldiers, and the developers clearly knew this was an issue because they did these weird little things to try and make it seem like humans were weaker, but it didn't work. Case in point, humans can flip vehicles over in this. How? Like, if they did like a teamwork thing, sure, I would get that, but like literally you could be the rookie by yourself in the middle of the city at night. There could be a warthog, which is, I would assume, is a couple thousand pounds easily, and he could just flip it over like nothing, like he's the Master Chief. Okay, suspend disbelief right here. And then another thing that doesn't play out is this is built off of Halo 3. They had dual wielding in Halo 3, but for some reason, since you're a human, you cannot hold two weapons at once in either hand. Why? Like, so apparently in this universe, all humans' hands are defective. You know, they only get one hand. Makes sense. Another thing that makes sense is how stamina works in this game. Essentially, your stamina acts as a shield. And once the shield, your stamina shield runs out, then you start taking damage, and you need to find health packs to replenish your health. But you can take plenty of damage with your stamina, and that can regenerate. I don't think that's how stamina works in real life, guys. But hey, suspend disbelief right here. Pretty sure stamina works with, you know, how long you can run or how well you can do in the bedroom. You know, that kind of stuff applies to stamina, not shields. How does that work? They never explain it. Now, I don't hate this game. There's a couple of good things, and one thing I want to point out is I didn't notice too much freezing or like stopping as I was playing this game when I hit checkpoints and whatnot, so that's nice. That was a serious issue in some of the previous Halo games, and so I'm glad that kind of got addressed. And then Nathan Fillion is in this game, but this leads to another problem. is that the character models have this very cartoonish feel to them, more cartoonish than any other game in the series. And like Nathan Fillion looks weird as shit. Like I have no, like I guess they were trying to make him look like a Saturday morning cartoon character. That's the only way I can explain it. But yeah, Nathan Fillion's in this. He plays the same smartass that he plays in literally every single thing he has ever been in, except for Saving Private Ryan. He wasn't as smart as in that one, but it was only like a 2-second scene in that film. Now, one of the things I absolutely loved about this game, it plays a lot like every other Halo game, which isn't bad. I know I've been racking this game for the most part for the past 5 minutes, but when you got something that's very similar to every other game, you know, I can tell you that, yeah, you get 2 sets of weapons, alien and human weapons, and, you know, you got the Covenant enemies you shoot, the various different... It's the same formula that has worked great in previous Halo games. And so I'm not going to go over that again. But one of the things that was new to this game that I absolutely loved was in the rookie levels. The rookie levels were kind of more experimental. The flashback scenes where you saw the other members of the crew, those definitely had a strong Halo vibe to them. If you've played one Halo before, you'll feel at home with those missions. But the rookie levels were really interesting because you basically get this semi-open world map of this district in New Mombasa. That's the city in the game. And this map has like multiple pathways you can go. Now you're always going to the same point, okay? That's the point where somehow you have like a radar message saying, hey, another piece of clairvoyant evidence is at this point. You have to just go look at it, touch it, and then you'll see the past through the eyes of your teammate. Again, how? But going over that, so yeah, you only have one point you go to, but you have multiple routes you can go there. And one of the amazing things is, for the most part, I was able to stealth most of the rookies' sections. I was able to evade enemy troops in this kind of semi-open world map. And I was actually genuinely surprised at how well this like experimental prototype worked. I mean, after playing this game, I would love to see an open world Halo game, which I know they're saying that Infinite isn't open world, but some of the things I've been seeing, it is open world, and I don't know why they're doing that, but regardless, this was kind of like a predecessor to that open world formula, because yeah, you get kind of this open world map of New Mombasa, and it's kind of cool being able to stealthily evade, you know, alien bad guys at one street corner, you know, using stealth, evasion. Now, I wasn't able to do it every time. There was a couple of times that I got spotted, had to take someone out, but the concept of being able to do stealth gameplay in a Halo game is actually kind of interesting, and I felt that without even trying to do it, they did kind of a good job on making it stealth applicable to this game. So overall, what did I think of this? I felt that this game was a fun continuation for returning fans of the franchise. Yes, I know I've been bad-mouthing this game for most of the review, but that was just kind of rare exceptions that I saw in the game. You're still getting the same great gameplay here. You're still getting, you know, the same universe, same kind of lore, and so if you're committed already to the Halo franchise, it's a no-brainer to get this. It's not terribly expensive for the Master Chief Collection version of this. I don't think 360 copies are terribly expensive. I see them go for around $7. And the thing is with this game, it's not really good for any new player, but if you're a returning Halo fan, then yeah, you'll be able to enjoy this game. You'll love the experimental, like, open world segment with the rookie. You might see some of the things I criticize as downsides, but I don't think they're deal breakers in the slightest. Yeah, they're weird that they did some of these, but again, it's just oddities rather than truly negative flaws that ruin the game. And so overall, I would say that yeah, this is a fun expansion to Halo 3 that you can play before Halo 3, and it doesn't spoil anything for Halo 3, really. There's a couple of things you could probably go, okay, yeah, they referenced it in Halo 3, but ultimately, in the end, this is a fine chapter added to the Master Chief Collection. Anyway, more is coming on Halo content, just at a slower pace. My name's Christopher Connor, and that will be all.